Welcome to S44 Intel. This report provides situational awareness and strategic context regarding the current situation in the Middle East. Here is the current operational assessment. Multiple escalation layers are now activating at the same time. Strike-enabling aircraft are moving forward, maritime contact activity is expanding, and parallel diplomatic off-ramps are opening. This is a transition phase where operational readiness and political decision windows begin to overlap. Beginning with maritime forward activity. 3 unidentified Iranian militia boats have been observed operating in the northern Arabian Sea, approximately 550 miles from the USS Abraham Lincoln carrier strike group. This represents forward contact layer expansion beyond the Strait of Hormuz. Operationally, this supports early identification of carrier movements, harassment optionality, intelligence queuing, and small craft swarm prepositioning logic. It also increases friction inside U.S. naval approach corridors. Shifting to Iranian leadership signaling. Ali Khamenei has been reported visiting Qom and the Jamkaran Mosque. This is a high salience legitimacy and decision ritual signal. Historically, similar leadership behavior has occurred when domestic narrative discipline is being prepared ahead of major strategic choices. This does not confirm operational decisions, but it indicates internal alignment activity at the political and symbolic level. Now to United States strike deliberation reporting. Tier 1 media outlets report that strike options are being actively weighed following failed talks. Reported potential target categories include leadership and security officials, nuclear infrastructure, and state institutions. No final authorization has been publicly confirmed. Additional reporting indicates Iran is rebuilding nuclear facilities deeper underground and refusing ballistic missile range limitations while restricting negotiations to the nuclear file only. This signals an active political decision window rather than routine diplomatic positioning. Leadership targeting frameworks raise escalation ceilings and increase retaliation probability assumptions. Iranian elite response framing reinforces deterrence posture. Statements emphasize that the United States may initiate conflict but cannot control the outcome. Iran's mission to the United Nations states that retaliation would be unprecedented if attacked. This language is designed to raise perceived escalation costs while preserving ambiguity around response timing and scale. Shifting to the Israeli analytical layer. Former Israeli officials have publicly stated that the absence of immediate domestic unrest windows removes pressure to rush strike timelines. This reframes escalation as deliberate planning rather than reactive urgency. It supports the interpretation that current posture is shaping in preparation, not forced acceleration. Now to diplomatic maneuvering. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi is traveling to Ankara to meet Turkish leadership. Turkey has proposed phased dispute resolution beginning with the nuclear file and has opposed military escalation. A call between United States and Turkish leadership included discussion of a possible trilateral summit format. This reflects parallel off-ramp architecture activation while coercive posture continues to build. It allows pressure application without fully closing negotiation channels. Finally, shifting to the strike-enabling air operations layer. 4 United States Air Force KC-46A Pegasus aerial refueling tankers have departed from the northeastern United States toward Atlantic transit routes. These aircraft are escorting 6 EA-18G Growler electronic attack aircraft toward forward staging areas in Europe and the Middle East region. This is not a routine training movement. KC-46A tankers enable long-range ferry operations and provide expeditionary refueling capacity. The EA-18G Growler provides suppression of enemy air defenses, radar disruption, and electromagnetic battlespace control. This introduces the electronic warfare execution layer into the escalation architecture. Electronic attack assets are rarely repositioned forward without real operational demand assumptions. Analyst assessment. This pattern reflects synchronized movement across political, maritime, air, and diplomatic domains. The KC-46A escorted Growler deployment is the most significant new indicator. It signals preparation for contested electromagnetic operations and air defense suppression planning, combined with maritime forward contact activity and leadership signaling. This suggests coordinated readiness alignment rather than symbolic deterrence messaging. This does not confirm strike authorization. It does not establish execution timelines. It does not guarantee proxy activation. It indicates that operational assumptions are being built into planning layers. Escalation ladder update current placement, late phase 2 transitioning into early phase 3. Reasoning, maritime proximity activity increases incident risk generation. Leadership ritual signaling reflects domestic narrative hardening. Strike option reporting indicates political authorization exploration. KC-46A tanker deployment and Growler ferry operations activate physical strike enablement architecture. Together, these cross the threshold from abstract deterrence into operational readiness alignment. Bottom line, strike enabling architecture is now visibly activating. The forward movement of KC-46A Pegasus tankers escorting NEA-AEG Growlers completes a critical operational layer required for contested airspace operations. At the same time, Iran is expanding maritime contact activity and reinforcing deterrence narratives. Turkey's mediation channel reflects parallel escalation management efforts designed to preserve exit options. The dominant near-term risk remains incident-driven escalation. This risk is generated by maritime proximity operations and synchronized intelligence and electronic warfare buildup occurring inside an active political decision window. This concludes the current operational assessment. S44 Intel will continue tracking maritime contact activity, strike-enabling deployments, electronic warfare posture changes, and diplomatic channel movements across the region. Stay informed. Stay analytical. End of report.